Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast. Yes, the series is now gone, and we're left with a marvellous selection of DVDs to review. Yes, I know I was supposed to be reviewing Planet of Fire and The King's Demons, but to be honest, I want to review something that's coming out very shortly. The Dominators, with the second Doctor, the Doctor whose performance has most been emulated by Matt Smith. The second Doctor story to be released, ever, unless of course they find some classic stories lying around in a cupboard.
You still feeling tired, Doctor?
Just a little bit weary, Jamie.
You need a good rest, Doctor.
Yes, we all do a nice holiday.
Well, where do you say this place was again?
The island of death.
3 people have been killed, a spacecraft has landed, and there are robots on that island.
Dominators do not seek assistance.
They're callous, without pity.
What we need, we take.
We require our people as slaves.
Do not defy or question a Dominator, obey!
There are bloodthirsty lot, these Dominators, aren't they?
Destroy! Destroy!
Well, we'll just have to stop them then.
Primitives will not go unpunished.
Nowhere on the entire planet is safe.
Now you'll see what happens when the orders of a Dominator are disobeyed.
Oh my word!
Fuck! Destroy!
The Dominators is by far not as remotely interesting as it sounds. It's 5 episodes long, was meant to be 6, and could have done with being 4. It genuinely fits into that whole miniature category of stories we'd quite cheerfully part with in order to have something else, like the Yetis. Weirdly, this story is actually written by the same people who wrote the Yeti stories. But because of some massive falling out at the BBC, which is covered on the making of, they ended up taking their names off this and replacing it with a name that was made up of their father-in-law's surnames. Now that's convoluted. Basically, they'd set about trying to recreate the magic that was the Daleks in a race of aliens with robots called Quarks. The Quarks are a disappointment. They're little boxes with little arms and spiky heads. They had children inside the costumes. They have child-like voices, and they are basically a bit rubbish. The Dominators of the title, who invade the planet Dulkis, are also quite boring. They invade a boring planet and threaten them in a boring way. The basic premise of the story is what happens if you are a race of people who have given up violence and you're invaded by people who haven't. Going against a lot of Doctor Who's narrative and ideals. Peace isn't always the option, peace isn't always the answer, is the underlying theme, which tends to raise its head quite often in Doctor Who, possibly because it's more narratively interesting, or perhaps more sinisterly, because that seems to be the case in real life. The making of documentary that comes with this is quite good. It tells the tale of how the Quarks were created in order to try and cash in, but the BBC had tightened up their copyright and had decided to release the robots for comic book adaptations when the writers and owners of the copyright of the creatures had decided that they could be released as toys. The falling out was enormous when the design finally came about, and it wasn't very good for either purpose. Other things that are covered in the documentary is the director's rather odd choice of directing his cast. He had his shots and everything worked out to such accuracy that he often had the sets moved rather than move his cameras. Again, such things are covered on the disc. The thing that is by far the best thing on the disc, however, is, as so often is the case, the Easter egg. It's the Scottish falsetto sock puppet company once again. I can't tell you what they're doing, because that would spoil the incredibly funny few minutes it's on. The commentary? Well, that's hosted by Toby Haydock of Moth Saved My Doctor Who scarf fame. He's done a few of these now, and he's getting better with each one. He balances his level of geekiness with the charm and wit of the host that he's supposed to be. He brings out the classic stories that he knows the guests already have, and the guests are pretty formidable. Apart from Troughton, everyone else is represented, both in front and behind the scenes. Fraser Hines tells some great stories, as does the actress who played Zoe. Another extra on this disc is a What the Papers Say style mini documentary called Tomorrow's Times, a line taken from the Five Doctors, which looks at Doctor Who appearances in real newspapers throughout the 60s. It covers the first and second Doctors. It's hosted by the actress who played Liz Shaw, the third Doctor's companion, in order to mix things up a bit. Worthy of note, but not worthy of conversation, is that there's an impression of George Melly's voice that is absolutely startling. Not that this is important to anyone at all. No, it's a very interesting documentary, and something that should grab your attention. Yes, there's the making of, and that lovely information text you get at the bottom of the screen. And of course, there's a coming soon for the Cyberman double boxed set. But that doesn't distract you from the fact that this DVD itself is seen by most people as a bit boring. It's not that bad. Yes, most of the textbooks I've got that review the story talk about the ridiculous costumes that appear to be made of curtains, the not particularly threatening aliens, but the Dominators themselves make a great double act. There are some wonderful moments from Jamie and the Doctor. Although this is Zoe's second story, it still comes together very well and doesn't have her as just a cipher character. No, it's well worth another look, and as it's the second Doctor, well, thin on the ground as they are, you'll probably get this one anyway.
Hello, this is Nick Briggs, and you're listening to Tin Dog Podcast.
Before I read the next Whostrology out, I just want to say that if you'd like your own Whostrology, then visit www.tin-dog.co.uk and click on the Whostrology banner and follow the link through to eBay and help keep the Tin Dog Podcast running. Similarly, if you'd like to donate to help the Tin Dog Podcast keep running, the donate banner is located on the right of the same screen. So here we go with the Whostrology reading for Menshaw, Eileen Lloyd, born on the 5th of July 1975. You were born in the time of the 4th Doctor. Stories shown on your birthday, born between seasons 12 and 13. That's Revenge of the Cybermen and Terror of the Zygons, and on the anniversary of the broadcast of Journey's End. Your Whostrology. Try not to seek revenge for its own sake. All you will do is annoy the locals and make them feel ill. Don't be surprised if someone you've given your mobile number to gives you a ring. A visit to Scotland could be a relaxing time to catch up with friends, but be sure to pay attention to local legends. Having visited people on your checklist, it is now time to settle in for the long game. Good things and times lie ahead. All who meet you will love you. Following bees will only get you so far, and a person close to you will get their heart's desire. Give them a big hand. You will finally have enough people around you to allow you to drive your vehicle in the way the manufacturer is intended. Even if you forget, you can be grateful for the memories. And so, just before I fade away, I need to say that new t-shirts are also available on the Tin Dog website. An entire team strip for the King's Arms has just been added. So until next time, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.